Greetings, everybody. This is Courtney Starhart Hale, and I'm here with Mike Three Bears Andrews, who is one of my mentors and my pipe lineage. And I learned firekeeping at Vision Quest with him, and so many other things that have really impacted my life in a positive way. He's also the carrier of the Bear Heart tradition, which Bear Heart was well known for putting thousands of people up on the hill for Vision Quest. He was the last Muskogee Creek medicine man, well, unless you're considered part of his lineage. And I'm excited to talk about the medicine wheel in several different applications with Mike. Um, and I will let him do an invocation uh, and bless this meeting. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. It's such a good thing to see you. I haven't seen you for a year or so. It's a blessing, and I did ask about opening prayers. I'm used to that. So, Creator, Great Spirit, Great Mystery, Great Magic, and we are the magic. We're the manifestors, and that's what magic is to me. All it is. That I call it on invoke those many different names of the divine. What a wonderful blessing life is. What a wonderful blessing this technology is, where we can communicate and record and spread the word of what we're doing and what we've experienced, everything. Um, I ask that this communication be blessed, that we bring in our highest answers, that we go very deep in terms of what we're experiencing, where we are. Um, as an old man, I've been telling people, if I knew I was going to be having this much fun as an old man, I would have gotten old sooner, because it's been good. But Creator, I'm thankful for this life. I'm thankful for knowing Courtney. Uh, we've had a long history together going back to 2010, 2012, I guess. And I'm so grateful for opportunity to communicate with her and see her and wave. Aho.
Oh, well, so one of one of the most memorable experiences of my life um, was when I was granted a pipe to carry. I was a young kid, and I had done the ghost dance already, and they had said that once you get done with this dance and your 4-year commitment, you'd have a pipe. And then nobody had a pipe to give me. And they said, okay, kid, go off and find one. So, feeling a little bit disappointed, I ended up meeting Mike, and it turned out that he had this amazing pipe tradition. And like so many things, everything happens at the right time and the right way, because it was worth waiting for the pipe that I carry. It's absolutely exquisite. I thought about bringing it to this meeting, but then I thought, no, I can't put it on the camera. That would be disrespectful, potentially. Um, and I hadn't asked you, but I would love to talk about the pipe tradition. If you would tell people a little bit about your experience with Bearheart, because of course he's legendary, um, I would appreciate that so they know about our lineage.
Okay, and it is our lineage. I carry a pipe in 8 traditions. It doesn't mean anything other than I can adapt to whatever group. One of my teachings is honor the local altar, because everybody does things different. Even in Lakota, I carried 2 different Lakota pipe traditions. And I go to Sweat Lodge, and I usually don't fill my pipe the first time, because they're going to do it differently. Everybody has a different take, but honor the local altar. Well, on pipes, my first tradition was Bearheart. Marcellus Williams, he passed in, I guess, 2008 at age 90. And I started working with him in 1995. Um, he wrote 2 books. The Wind is My Mother. His mother was a Wind clan, and the Bear is my father. His father was a Bear clan. And uh, good books, very popular, very readable. And so I started working with him. And then in, let's see, 2006, I asked him to lead a vision quest, because he was getting pretty elderly, and I heard he wasn't going to do it anymore. And so I talked to him and his wife, Regina Water Spirit, and they said, we'll get back to you. And they did. They said, okay, we will. But Mike, would you be interested in leading Vision Quest? And that's where I'm authorized to give pipes, which Courtney's talking about. I'm authorized. I'm a Vision Quest leader and a Vision Quest sponsor. And in the Vision Quest, I can give pipes. As a sun dancer, I can give pipes to people. The pipe is my highest form of prayer. I mean, no question about it. And the pipe that Courtney's talking about for her pipe, it's 2 interlocking hearts. It really is a very special pipe, I thought. And it was my personal pipe. Then I passed it on to her. Um, the pipe is my highest form of prayer. Bottom line, I opened a pipe and gave a man a pipe ceremony this morning, actually, just before this. Um, it, a lot of the indigenous ceremonies, the Vision Quest, the Sun Dance, the Sweat Lodge, it's about surrender, but the pipe ceremony is not. And when I talked to another one of my mentors, Basil Braveheart, and I said something about surrender, he said, that's the white man's perspective. It's really, the ceremonies are really about alignment with the divine. And I like that. I think that really is much better. The pipe ceremony would be aligned with the divine. What else about the pipe? There's different variations. Like I said, I have a Hopi pipe and I have a Dene pipe. I do ceremonies with a Dene at the Canyon Cedar Band. Bearheart wasn't the last medicine man. There are medicine men that are part of his lineage that are still Muskogee Creek, but he was a multidisciplinary, multi-tribal elder, really very eloquent. There are some videos online that you can see him speaking. Anything else, Courtney, about pipes? I mean, I don't know if that.
Well, I mean, the interesting part, I think, is the pipe ceremony. I remember how we sit in circle and how when you first taught me that, it was so easy for me to learn because Patricio and the Kiva and Sweat Lodge was a similar formula. So I think with this dissertation, what we're looking at is how again and again people use these 4 keys to unlock this special power or connection to source. Patricio talks about, just like you did, about the surrender, but that's like the emptiness, the void. So the setting the ceremonial space comes first, often a circle, marking out the 4 directions, and then we begin with this ritual, right? So,
It is, and like today, with this man, we call in the 4 directions or the 7 directions for several purposes. One is to locate us right here. We're here and now. It's also protection when we're asking the directions to be here. And the pipe's the same thing. We're doing prayers. In Bearheart's way, we start with Creator, and we put a pinch tobacco for that. And then we do Father Sky, Mother Earth, the 4 cardinal directions, and then Creator, so that we have Creator at the top and bottom. The Lakota talk about the pipe as a piece of wood and a piece of stone, but the stone represents Mother Earth, the bowl, and the stem represents the masculine. That's not what I use, and that's not what other elders that I work with. We say that the bowl represents the universe and the stem represents humanity, and we're plugging humanity into the universe. And that's to me a lot better than just simply masculine and feminine. It transcends that. Um, we offer prayers. With Creator at top and bottom. It's all Creator. Everything is, but we use these different directions to remind us. We use Father Sky as the masculine, the divine, um, the Mother Earth as the divine feminine. The direction of the east, the sun comes up there, so it's new beginnings. The south can be whatever we want to call that in terms of animals, colors, and energies. The West is frequently about healing. A lot of times it's the bear energy. Um, in the North would be elderhood. So, I mean, we kind of, those are things that remind us to pray in that way. Um, One of the keys we talked about today, and that doesn't fit what you're talking about here, is I can't pray for someone without their permission.
Mm.
I can't do healing work on someone without their permission because it's a violation of their free will. So that was a big topic. Someone that really likes to pray for people was the new pipe carrier. But that really is a significant thing: is how do we honor them? Now, an example: if I want world peace, I don't pray for world peace. I will pray. I would like to experience world peace. It's about me. I can do that.
I wonder if somehow that's asking for us to step into a layer of reality where when we're experiencing peace, then we see all the peace out there and we step into that reality. I don't know.
One word we haven't used, which is the basis of everything I teach, is love. I 32 years ago experienced what I call divine love, to the point of being ecstatic and disappearing and going into emptiness and the void, um, non-existence, sunyata in the Indian way of thinking. Uh, but love's the base of it all. And what this man and I agreed was he could pray for send love to people, and that makes sense. I like that, as a way to fit in without violating their free will. Because I know that. I mean, I've experienced that. That's not conceptual for me. It's a reality.
So why do you think that, and if you're willing to talk about the different traditions comparatively, why do you think that people were so preoccupied with the four directions in literally all of these cultures, whether it's Dene, Lakota, Hopi, I know Pueblo are completely obsessed. And then in our pipe tradition as well, we lay it all out that way.
Well, I guess our culture, our mainstream culture, I would say, is linear, birth to death. It's um, indigenous cultures tend to be what I would call cyclical, seasonal. The moon, the sun, days and nights. It's cyclical. The medicine wheel. We're getting to your topic. To me, is signifying those four directions, and then you can also put the center being the divine or us. You can put up and down, Father Sky and Mother Earth. I think it's a reminder. I mean, if you say it's all creator, it covers everything. But these are reminders for us to appreciate or relate to the different directions. Um, I've done all kinds of medicine wheels. One actually that was a water medicine wheel that was curved instead of straight lines in the cardinal directions. And in fact, even when we talk about indigenous groups that I'm not active with them, but some of them use the quarter directions.
Sure.
It's not north, south, east, and west. It would be in between southeast, southwest, northeast, northwest. These are just reminders to include aspects of life. Don't forget to pray for different parts.
And that we're not just one thing, right? And it's not really a straight line. It's a this continuous cycle, right?
It is, and in fact, I've got a vision quest coming up Saturday. It's Thursday now, so it's in 2 days. And in there, I recommend people pray in each direction, but then they go back to the center, and then they go out. So like they may pray to the east from the center, go out to the east and pray with their pipe, come back to the center, then go out to the south and pray with their pipe, come back to the center. That locates us each time.
That makes sense. Do you think that somehow honoring these different directions in harmony and in balance might sort of make a crack in the cosmic egg where we can come closer to the force or creator or something more eternal, the quantum field?
A lot of good words, but I think it's all about surrender. Um, that's an important aspect to me. I experienced surrender in 1995, and Spirit told me an answer to this question didn't know how to do, and it worked. It was magical, and I was telling Basil Braveheart about it, and many years later, a couple of years ago, and he said, "Yeah, Mike, that's mental surrender. Physical surrender is different." And a lot of the ceremonies, like Sundance and especially Sundance and the Vision Quest and the Sweat Lodge, are about they're related. I mean, they include prayers, but they're about surrender. And I never physically surrendered. I Sundanced and I didn't surrender. I came out of a lodge about a year ago, and I took a few steps. I was the last person out, and I collapsed. I got up and I took a step and I collapsed, and I did another step, and the leader said, "Somebody help Mike, he's not in his body." And that's the basis of physical surrender. After doing sweat lodges 32 years, about a month ago, I retired. I'm not doing them anymore. I can't in a lodge. There's 4 rounds, and the second round I was coming out because this lodge allowed us to come out. I was crawling out. I got to the door and I collapsed. They had to drag me out, stand me up, and they set me down. And if it was the heat, I wouldn't have been able to go back in. But within 2 minutes, I went back in and did 2 more rounds. It was physical surrender. What I realized, I don't need to keep doing it. I don't need to keep physically surrendering. So I'm doing other things now to connect to the divine.
I distinctly remember, and our community talking stick came from the Vision Quest in Cloudcroft. Um, let's talk about the fire as the central piece of the Vision Quest and how you put people up on the hill in a circle, because all of these things are fractals, right, of the divine circle, right? And whether, however you call the force, if you call it love or you call it surrender or emptiness, there's something that happens. Let's talk about Vision Quest. And oh, I have to paint the picture for people first about Cloudcroft, all right? In case you don't know what it looks like, because God knows I didn't. I came up from Albuquerque in my shorts with my two little children in their shorts. And it was kind of
No
sad.
jackets.
No jackets.
It was 105 to Albuquerque.
It was. It seemed unfair. And I think, I don't know if it was in the 60s up in Cloudcroft. What's the elevation up there?
It's 9,100 feet, and uh, there's another activity called the Gathering of Circles that I've been doing. This was our 31st year, this first week of August, and this upcoming Vision Quest is the 21st year of doing that. Mainly in Cloudcroft. I've done them elsewhere, but I'd like to do them there. I used to do 2 a year, and just focused on one annually. It's it's a beautiful location. It's dolomite limestone with big trees. It's got firs. It's got all um, all kinds of trees. It's a nice location. No snakes, as always a positive, but wildlife. Uh, it has bear, mountain lions pass by questers. Um, in the Vision Quest, the fire is the central part. We light that sacred fire when we get ready. We go into the first sweat lodge, going out lodge, and then we keep it going 24/7 because that's the communication with people. That fire flies bothering me here. That's the basis of the connection to everybody. Fire is a significant event. Um, you can do ceremonies based on earth, air, fire, water, but fire. I'm a fire person by nature, and it's my connection to spirit. Love is still the answer. I mean, you kind of put a bunch of words together, but that is the bottom line for me. Is there love there? Um, Going to emptiness and divine, emptiness of the void. There's people say, well, what do you experience? Nothing. What you bring back? Nothing. It's in Zen. One of my teachers was Adyashanti, and he talked about it being, it's not really empty. It's pregnant with possibility. It's the source of everything, and he puts the divine below that as a source. But so emptiness and the void is an aspect, but that's not really the love. It's simply that is the aspect that kind of gets us there for me. And everybody's path's different. I mean, uh, yours, mine are entirely different. I'm not a plant medicine person. My teacher Bearhart was a road man in the Native American Church, so I've done like 8 peyote ceremonies. I did one ayahuasca. It took me to emptiness of the void, which I go there without it, so I don't do it. That's me. I recommend to people, if you need it, do it. It's a great way to take you out of that left brain, but I'm a right brain person. That's just who I am. So I didn't need it. But it was a beautiful experience, but I didn't need to keep
At the
doing
end
it.
of the day, people are going to have to find a daily practice that takes them where they want to go. And plant medicine might crack open the door, but you're going to have to go through it every day if you really want to change your life.
Well said. I have a friend who in college said I took 50 LSD sessions, doses. At the end, the 50th, LSD, the spirit of LSD said, okay, now do it without the LSD. And that signifies everything there that we just talked about. We don't, yes, those will work, but we don't need to keep doing that. Likewise, I retired from 32 years of sweat lodge. I don't need to keep doing that.
Also, vision
Let
quest.
me say one more thing. Sorry to interrupt you, but
No, not at all.
I've practiced meditation at times in the past, many years ago, but I don't feel the need to meditate now. I like to ask the question, who are you when you're not meditating? Meditation can be good for calming the mind. It can center you. But when you're at Walmart or the grocery store, who are you? Sorry, again, what were you going to say?
Well, no, I mean that's extremely relevant and interesting. Patricio talks about how if you have a piece of fabric and you want to dye it indigo, you dip it once and then it comes out kind of a pale color, and you let it dry and you dip it again. And once you get it to the color you want, it should be fine, but it's not a once in a lifetime adventure. It's kind of a repeated thing. But then oftentimes once we get our consciousness kind of set to where we want it, then we don't have to do the practices heavily.
I go back to that surrender business. I think that's part of it is letting go of control. Our culture doesn't like to be out of control. I mean, that's an element. The need to be right and the need to be in control are part of the patriarchal culture. Um, and unfortunately, that's where we are right now. If you look at the last 5,000 years, we've had patriarchy and warfare and mass graves and walled cities. 5,000 years before that, we had matriarchy and no warfare. But 5,000 years before that, we had patriarchy and warfare. So to me, some of these things in a bigger picture, cultural, um, tie back to our choice. We as individual human beings, who do we want to be? How do we want to live? It's not just spirituality, it's our life.
Well, all of this is about the four keys and the crack in the cosmic egg. Can we take people back to Cloudcroft? I wanted to really capture kind of, I'll tell you, when that time when I went with my children and to keep the fire, I don't know how I don't remember how I got assigned that duty because I certainly know how to keep fire for Sweat Lodge, but for a big ceremony like that, this is 5, 7, 10 days of constantly keeping the fire lit and not being able to walk away from it. It's pretty intense. So we're driving up to Cloudcroft, and everyone is so kind. They lend us some tarps and some extra blankets, and Mike had an extra jacket, and we everybody made do in the community. It was beautiful. So it was a big lesson in kindness and community and family. It was really nice. because I was cold. But I remember waking up in the morning underneath this canopy of these beautiful trees and all the minerals in the earth. You could just walk around and find all these beautiful minerals. Uh, and I look when I wake up and I go, oh, look, there's fog. And he goes, no, that's the clouds. We're above the cloud line. Like looking at the clouds. So this place is so high up. Cloudcroft means the home of the clouds, right?
Right.
I mean, that's amazing. So we're up here, closer to God, so to speak, if you want to believe that. Certainly high altitude shifts your consciousness. But then we go through this thing where we do sweat lodge, right? And then we put the people up on the hill. Could you explain the process of putting people in their little circles and some of the things that happen over time? I love these stories. Oh, about Bearheart when the bear got him, and all
Okay.
the times that the animals walk around people's circles and never eat them, attack them, bite them. Isn't
Well,
that miraculous?
you just did 24 hours worth of topics there, but putting people
I'm
out,
not sorry.
I, no, that really, it, even the Vision Quest, I have to prepare people. I'll be there Saturday, and everybody else will be, and I won't put them out till Wednesday or Thursday because I need to build community. I do need to do a lot of training because I get people from around the world. Bearhart's book introduced a lot of people to these words, Vision Quest, and when you Google that, what comes up is Bike Three Bears, uh, Bearhart Vision Quest, and one is build community, and I have techniques I've developed for that, dialogue circles with talking sticks, uh, one-on-one or people working together, doing different things, people showing some of their spirituality. We're going to prepare a mesa in a South American tradition, and one of the people that are going to be that's there are going to be doing that. So that's one thing. The other thing is our culture is not used to talking about and dealing with spirits. It's conceptual at the best, but I've got things I get people to do to, like a shamanic drumming event, and taking them into, and then doing some. I've got some Mayan whistles I use that are magical,
Oh, I love
uh,
those.
uh, and just ways to get them ready. I do a wildlife safety because there are bears. I've had to deal with a bear there once before the gathering of circles, and it, it, it's a reality, but it's not a fearful thing. Um, and we had a mountain lion walk by, look at a man in the circle. One of the things that we're going to talk about this, so that people aren't afraid of it, is most of the predators are scent hunters. They smell the food, and if you're out there with no food, no water, and no tent or anything, you're just there in nature, there isn't any food. So they look at you and they say, okay, and then walk on. This mountain, again, there's a lot of elk where we go. There's coyotes. People have seen bobcats. It's primitive, but that's part of nature. I mean, we're part of that. One woman asked me, Mike, you seem to be not afraid of anything. I said, well, I'm afraid of things, but the stuff we have here in nature, I'm not. I mean, we have thunderstorms with lightning hitting all around us. I'm doing a pipe ceremony laughing, not because I have any special skills. It's just that that's not part of me. But lightning is. Lightning is one of my nawals, my energy sources. But putting people out, they pick a spot, they go out there, they sit for 1, 2, or 3 nights, and what do they do? I ask them not to meditate, to be present in nature, pay attention. I do encourage people to journal. Other people say, well, writing, that's not part of traditional, but it's such a rich experience. Everything is speaking to you. When you open it up, the divine will speak to you in some way. The clouds, the rocks, the birds. When I personally vision quested in 2006, I had 8 eagles that eventually flew in 1 or 2 at a time and were circling over me, went up to be little dots in the sky, and then came back down. So my initial name that Bearhart gave me was Eagle Eye. Um, so, I mean, part of it, people have an intention. I need to know if I should get a divorce. Should I change my job? That's an intention. But spirit provides you what you need.
What happens during that process, do you think? Is that a breaking down of the ego? Is it a kind of like a biological thing? What's that process? Because again and again, I saw people open up so much to the great mystery, and these miracles happen, of course, without plant medicine. I mean, what is that? And that's a very ancient formula, right? The vision quest.
Absolutely. I mean, just being in nature, um, we're not used to spending time looking up at the stars in the sky. But there's no tent. You know, if it's where we're going, when you're talking about this cloud crop, New Mexico has a monsoon season, and it can include the Vision Quest. I used to do it in the second week of August, and that was in monsoon, and we had 4 days when it was only clear, not raining, not even sunny, but not raining for two 20-minute periods. But I do it now, so it's a little later, and it's a little cooler and crisper, but less rain. But it can still rain. Is people aren't used to being in nature. Looking at the Church of the Blue Dome in the daylight, and then all the stars at night when you're at 9,000 feet with clear atmosphere. Oh, that's the Milky Way. Oh, okay.
Do you
I
think it's connecting with nature?
Pardon me.
You think that it's the connection with nature and the rebalancing through natural forces? What
I
about
think
the
it's
physical
connection with the
process?
divine. I mean, the divine is nature too. I mean, that all this is part of the same thing. I mean, there's no distinction in my mind. Nature is the divine, but we are too. Um,
What about the part where people aren't eating? They're not drinking much water. You know, they've done the sweat lodge. Whether this is Sundance or it's Vision Quest, there's this process of sort of starving the body. And then as the body starts to transition even lightly into the spirit world, is it possible that that allows us to connect more with our divine nature
I'll
through that
directly
liminal
quote.
space?
I'll directly quote Bearhart. The not drinking water and not eating are not the source of the visions.
Okay.
They deepen the experience. The man I met with today, he's really concerned because he's getting tested for different kidney issues and other issues. And I say, put a gallon of water outside your circle. If you need it, do it. Um, Many people of the people I'm putting out are elderly and they may be taking meds. Put a gallon of water outside your circle, and if you need to drink that with the meds, that really, it's all it's the intention of going out and being open to the divine. That's the base in my mind. There is preparation, you know. Um, Everybody is different. One man actually had his vision a month before he went out, but he was journaling, and so when he reviewed it, this was actually with Bearhart, when he reviewed his experiences, it was actually before that. You start the vision quest the moment you commit, which meant like a month or 2 weeks. I've got some people now that are on the not sure they're going to go or not. So that's today is Thursday, and the Vision Quest starts Saturday. So if they go out, they'll be ready.
Interesting.
It is interesting, and this is me speaking. I'm not speaking. You know, Bearhart trained me. I put 150 people out over the 21 years. It's all different. One of the things I've been dealing with, or I deal with, is trauma. Um, with women, a lot of it. One woman was telling me about her vision, and she's sitting there next to me, and we're talking. And I said, "Have you been raped?" And almost knocked her off. Or she was sitting on a stump, almost knocked her off. Yeah, and I've identified maybe 10% of the women that that say they've been raped or sexually abused, but a woman therapist I know says probably closer to 50% or more. So I'm missing a lot. But I've been dealing with PTSD for people that are it was a pre-verbal experience, or it was so deeply repressed that they say, I know there's something there, but I don't know what it is. How do you get to it? Well, the various techniques, but the vision quest is one of them. But talking about experiences through your medicine work, um, that's how I don't try and treat it. I try to let people know what it is and they can deal with it. I'm not a therapist. I'm not going to sit there and the talking doesn't do any good. That's not that part of the brain. That's the top word brain. We need to get into that mammalian brain where in the body.
Yeah.
And then going out and questing is in the body. I mean,
It's
that's
getting you into your body, right?
yes. And the plant medicine is taking out of your analytical left brain. So,
It's fascinating all of these kind of crossovers between plant medicine and all these different traditions. Um, but I do like it that you say that it all comes back to love.
well, it has to. I mean, that is the divine to me. I mean, uh, that's the deepest. I make a distinction between what I call divine love and human love. Human love's got an object. It might be another person. It might be an activity. It might be the mountains. It might be art. Those are subject to human love or family or people or whatever. But divine love's kind of like the sun. It just shines. I mean, that sun doesn't care what's out there. And the divine is love. In my mind, that's me. I've experienced that twice.
I often invoke the waterfall of light, how you described that, and that it's just this, whenever I get overstimulated or anxious here in New York, because it is really overwhelming for me. And it's not gonna last forever, but I know that spirit put me here for a reason. So I'm always trying to develop these techniques to help myself to stay, centered in all of this. And I really like the waterfall of light. Could we maybe leave people with a little technique that they can use? We have about 2 or 3 minutes left before we have to wrap. Is there something that you'd like to gift people that they can use? I've got a whole basket full of your gifts, so it's hard for me to pick just one.
Well, what would you pick one? What one? What is the most significant to you?
Well, the waterfall of light imagery really helps me a lot. I mean, the orienting yourself when you invoke the east, west, north, south, and you put yourself at the center, it seems for me to create this kind of vortex, coming through the crown and rooting in the earth. And it seems to open up through the heart or through the solar plexus. Um, and I feel like I got that waterfall of light concept from you.
I don't recognize it, but thank you. Uh, what if that works for you? That's perfect. I mean, that's something that spirit's given you. Um, Again, I retired from sweat lodges, other than leading for the Vision Quest. Although I may not do one this time. After at COVID, I quit doing lodges because people didn't want to be together in that, and I started doing a going out pipe ceremony and coming in pipe ceremony. But I've been doing something called golden breath work, which I've done stand grafts, holotropic breath work. But this golden breath work, in 2 hours, I become ecstatic. And so for me, that's my connection right now with the divine. And just I live in Taos, and I see an awful lot of people connected to spirit here. But I'm glad to hear what you said about that waterfall of light. Uh, I think love and light go together. A lot of people want to use that as a um, shortcut, but in reality, we have to live it.
Fair enough. Well, I think with that, we've got a beautiful basis for understanding this tradition and lots of wonderful information about all these ceremonies and the four keys or the medicine wheel. So, thank you, thank you, thank you for everything over the years, of course, but thank you especially for this, for sharing with the world.
Well, I salute you.
Aho.
My heart goes out.